Let's pivot a little bit. Speaking of bad money, though, let's go to the latest Biden FBI scandal where today House members on the Oversight Committee had a look at this controversial 1023 document that the FBI tried to cover up. And let's bring in Texas Senator Ted Cruz. There he is. Senator Cruz, welcome back to the show. As always, sir, let me begin. Here's what Congressman Byron Donald said earlier about the document that he saw. Please take a listen.
This document also stipulates that, according to the confidential human source, that money was being moved through several accounts, multiple accounts, to get to Joe Biden. I'm going to say it again. Money was moved on purpose through multiple accounts to get to Joe Biden.
All right, there's one. Senator, I've got one more real quick from your favorite president himself, Mr. Joe Biden. Take a listen.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace says there's damning evidence in the FBI file that you sold out the country. Do you have a response to the congressional Republicans?
Where's the money? I'm joking.
Mr. President,
it's a bunch of malarkey.
All right, where's the money? I'm joking. It's all a bunch of malarkey. Senator Ted Cruz, you may not have talked to some of the House members who saw this document today. The potential for money laundering, the potential that it actually went into Joe Biden. What do you make of this right now, Senator?
Well, listen, we just heard Joe Biden demonstrate the absolute smugness of being insulated by the most politically corrupt Department of Justice in history and the most politically corrupt corporate media in history. The two together, they surround him, they protect him. Joe Biden says, where's the money? How does he know that they're not going to find the money? Well, because DOJ is not looking. They don't want to know the money. It's the opposite of Watergate. Follow the money. DOJ's approach is hide from the money, run from the money. It is disgraceful. Listen, this FBI report, you had a credible informant who the FBI had relied on for previous investigations, who came forward and presented evidence that the then Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, was personally involved in a bribery scheme of $5 million, and that it involved a foreign nation that was not China. Now, at this point, what has happened is DOJ and the FBI continue to stonewall. The House of Representatives Oversight Committee subpoenaed that document. Initially, they came and presented that document to the chairman and ranking member of the committee, but they didn't want it to be made public. Now, they have been dragged into allowing the committee members to see it, but the full House of Representatives hasn't seen it. The Senate hasn't seen it because no Senate Democrat wants to see it. It's the monkeys, see no evil, do no evil. They just don't want to see it. They don't want to know. And listen, this document needs to be made public. And I got to say to Chris Wray, I've called out before, Chris Wray, who's the director of the FBI, believes his job is to protect the institution of the FBI. He is not protecting the FBI when he protects the hardcore partisans who burrowed in to senior career positions, who've corrupted the FBI. There is an obligation to the American people, if there's credible evidence that the President of the United States was personally involved in bribery, we need full transparency. And so let me say what Joe Biden just said, show me the money. The American people deserve to be shown the money, the $5 million, the millions of dollars that were funneled to at least a dozen Biden family members. We need transparency, and the DOJ and the FBI need to get out of the cover-up business.
So the question I have is, okay, we've established, the investigations, the Oversight Committee and so forth, they've established from Treasury Department reports and so forth, all these little LLCs which strongly suspect money laundering. I get that. We haven't really established the bribery charge. I mean, if there's a bribery, if there's a bribery charge, this would be the biggest political scandal in American history. I mean, I think that's a fair point. But how do we, when do we figure out whether or not Joe Biden took a bribe? I guess that's what I want to know.
Well, I'll tell you what, one person knows for a fact whether it's true or not, and his name is Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr. You know what Joe Biden could have done? He could have stood at that podium and said, if in fact the allegation was false. He could have said, this allegation is false. It's ridiculous to say that I took a bribe, and I'm instructing the FBI to release that document now, make the evidence public because I'm innocent. That's what Biden could do, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants the DOJ and FBI to cover it up. Why? Because he knows the 6 o'clock news, look, you're going to show it on Fox Business, but hold your breath for CNN, hold your breath for MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS. Where are they? Why are they not leading with a serious whistleblower alleges bribery by the President of the United States and the FBI stonewalls? Joe Biden could call for full transparency. When he says, where's the money? You know who else said that? Al Capone. You know who else said that? John Dillinger. Bank robbers say, where's the money? You know what? You're President of the United States. He has an obligation to be transparent with the American people, and any journalist with a shred of integrity ought to go out and read about Woodward and Bernstein again and actually start practicing journalism instead of propaganda on behalf of the regime.
Yeah, good point. Where are the investigative journalists now that we need them? Topic number 2, Senator Cruz. By all accounts, or at least some accounts, I don't know, whatever, Donald Trump is about to get busted by the special counsel, obstruction of justice. What do you make of that?
Well, look, they're leaking like crazy that an indictment of President Trump is expected today or tomorrow, that it's imminent. I assume that is correct. I don't have a reason to doubt those multiple leaks. I'll say this is not a surprise. I've said publicly for a long time, Merrick Garland wants to indict Donald Trump. He came into office planning to indict Donald Trump. Unfortunately, this Department of Justice is the most political Department of Justice we've ever seen, and Merrick Garland is the most political Attorney General we've ever seen. John Mitchell, Nixon's disgraced Attorney General, is rolling over in his grave at what Merrick Garland is doing. As you know, my last book is called Justice Corrupted: How the Left Weaponized Our Legal System, and it walks through just how Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice corrupted DOJ and the FBI and the CIA and the IRS and the machinery of government. And when it comes to this, listen, I think we don't know the exact grounds on which an indictment is coming. My theory, I think Merrick Garland planned to indict President Trump over classified documents. I think he was giddy with excitement over indicting President Trump over classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. And then, miracle upon miracles, it became public that Joe Biden had classified documents stuck just about everywhere, including literally in his garage next to his Corvette. And that suddenly put Merrick Garland in a difficult position legally, but also politically. If he were to indict Donald Trump for possession of classified documents, but cover up for Joe Biden doing the same thing, the double standard and hypocrisy would be obvious. So here's what I predict. I predict that he's going to indict Donald Trump, not for classified documents, but for obstruction of justice about the classified documents. Now, mind you, he's not saying the underlying thing's a crime, because then he'd have to go after Joe Biden, too. He's instead going to create a crime about the non-crime. Right. And that's going to be the focus of this. And I'll tell you, this is also intimately connected with the widespread leaks that DOJ plans to indict Hunter Biden. Why? Because I think Merrick Garland is looking for political cover. I think he wants to say, look how even-handed I am. I indicted Trump, I indicted a Biden. But here's the thing about Hunter Biden. If an indictment on Hunter just focuses on his personal troubles, if it focuses on his drug issues or his personal financial issues, that is being set up for Hunter to be a scapegoat and for everyone to say, well, he's just a troubled soul. The reason we care about Hunter Biden is the evidence of corruption of the big guy, of his father, Joe Biden, of millions of dollars being funneled from foreign nations and foreign companies to his father. And so if Merrick Garland and this DOJ just indicts Hunter, but shuts off the investigation from anything connected to Joe Biden, then that indictment is nothing more than another cover-up, which sadly has been the pattern we've seen in this DOJ for the last 2.5 years.
I got to get out, but, I don't understand. I mean, for these classified documents or unclassified, why don't they have like a lawn party? Like you could have Biden, Trump, Pence, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, probably go all the way back to Lyndon Johnson. I mean, I don't know. There's no end to it. Nobody cares about this stuff. So I took some boxes. You know, you've seen these documents. I had to live with these documents for 3 years. They're all a bloody bore. They have these little cardboard sheets on it that says top secret. Then you read about it, and it's not quite as good as what I read in the Wall Street Journal that morning. I mean, honest to God, this is just the goofiest thing I've ever seen. It's just crazy. We could have a lawn party. We
It's
could
a
have some
political
fun.
vendetta.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's total politicalization. You're exactly right. So just last one. The producers are screaming at me. We're way over time, but I can't let you go. Biden's op-ed piece today, if you do it right and you look at total civilian employment adjusted for population the way the Labor Department does, actually he created 1.1 million jobs since COVID. He hadn't even created any new jobs, not a single new job. This modern monetary theory, socialist, I don't even think Princeton teaches modern monetary theory. Maybe I'm wrong.
Look, with the latest debt deal, we're going to go up to $36 trillion in national debt. Joe Biden and the Democrats are bankrupting the country, and their approach is print so much money that they inflate their way out of this. Well, I'll tell you who's hurting. The people who are hurting are working men and women. I ask every person at home, is your life better than it was before Joe Biden was president?
They're getting killed.
They're getting killed everywhere. And that's part of why Merrick Garland wants to indict Trump, is he wants to change the subject from the disaster of Biden's actual record.
I got to go. Run, Ted, run. You know what I think. Run, Ted, run. Senator Cruz, you're the best. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.